It is 100% a very boring time in the crypto market right now. And because of that, I think some opportunities might be showing up. One of the big ones here is going to be DEDI. And I want to show you a couple charts and kind of fill you in on where I think or what's going on with some of these Cardano native tokens. Now, I don't know. We're in like a weird spot in the market where it's like political theater and waiting and patience. And I think the big thing that's happening is the market's trying to see who is going to be around and who's not going to be around when this whole crypto thing starts to take off again. And typically, like pauses like this, accumulations like this, in my opinion, I don't see a lot of bad things happening. Like, as far as news and critical things going on, like it's not like back in 2022 when they started raising rates, right? And so you can see on the horizon how crypto does better and how this thing goes up. Right now, it's just a matter of waiting for a few key things to happen. And I feel like if you can just avoid getting shooken out by the market, avoid kind of selling your altcoins and going into Bitcoin, or kind of avoid kind of just forgetting about the space, you will do really well in mid and late 2025. Okay. And so because of that, I want to show just some of these tokens here on Cardano that a lot of us have talked about and we've looked at before, but I want to take another fresh look at today. Okay. So the first one I want to look at is DEDI. Now, the reason I want to look at this is because I typically do not like DEDI, or I've tried to like DEDI for quite a bit, but the problems with DEDI and their project is that the team is not very communicative. You can't find a lot of information on when tokens are vesting out and like who's got tokens, right? And like what's the current circulating supply and stuff. And I know TabTool shows it right here. It shows 60 million, but in their initial public sale, it was like 100 million. They didn't sell the tokens. So it's kind of blurry on like, where are we today? They're also very blurry on what partnerships they have or how many GPUs are being used or what they're using funds for. And if they're making money and investing that money back into more GPUs. So there's a lot of garbage cloud of information around this DEDI project. Now, with all that being said, I am kind of bored in the crypto market right now. So I want to take a little bit of a riskier play and invest some money. And so I invested $2,000 into DEDI right here at around, somewhere like 0.63, 0.65. And that's because over the past couple of days, sometimes I don't really pay attention to the markets as much and just kind of live my life. But the past couple of days, I've been getting a little bit interested in what are some of these small tokens doing that have been bleeding a lot? And can I have a little window of opportunity to make some more ADA? And so I think DEDI is in a prime spot to maybe start its next phase upwards. I've been watching it down here. I was watching it right here, trying to figure out when is it going to put in that bottom. And it looks like this is a multi-week bottom. Each one of these candles is a day. So this is at least like 2 weeks, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks that it's in this bottoming range. And now it's kind of come out. And what's interesting to me is I think that it's just retracing back to this moving average and support. And I think we could easily see it come up here to this next moving average of the 200-day moving average. This is around, 0.1 or 0.11 ADA. And then can that lead us into an even bigger rally depending on how the market kind of handles this? But I bought some DEDI. I plan on selling it around here, maybe seeing what happens. If it gets above these lines, maybe buying some more, okay? Now, the other thing about DEDI you should look at, I think, is if we move this chart out, I think the 3-day is what I was looking at. If we look at the 3-day, you can see we have this 50-week moving average rolling in here on the 3-day. So this might be another area of around the 0.09, 0.1, or then 0.11 area of ADA where DEDI could stall out a little bit. This area of kind of like resistance right here in this window. So I think DEDI is a really interesting, quick little buy for a quick flip. If it ends up coming back down here into this channel, no big deal. Lost just a little bit of ADA for a very good potential risk return. And I think like in times like this, it's okay to take these risk reward plays. I mean, that's what we're in crypto for. That's what we're in altcoins for, is to make a little bit more risk, a little bit more return. And so you got to be willing to, and even I understand, you have to be willing to put some money out there sometimes and have a little fun with it and see if you can do a flip like this and make some money. Maybe DEDI continues to do well at this area and rockets even further upwards. I don't know. We're going to have to see, but this is one chart I think is interesting from a shorter to midterm trade opportunity. Now, after DEDI, one chart I like is the Titan chart. And I'm an NVL holder. I like NVL. I've been buying it as it's slowly been coming down. I was out of crypto like for a little bit, like just not paying attention, taking my time, taking my break, and I missed this move by Titan. I wish I would have seen it get above this moving average. This would have been a great spot to enter into this position. Even if you entered right here, it would have been a great spot to buy some Titan and you would have made this return here. But Titan looks like it's coming back and retracing back down. Now, what I think is interesting about Titan is I'm not really sure whether it kind of stops out here. You can see we kind of have this area of support in here, right? Like this area where it's currently stopping out at. I think Titan, if it decides to turn around right here and continue upwards, could easily get up to this yellow line. Now, the thing that I'm curious about, that I'm questioning, this move right here is not really as big of a move. It's not very important for me to buy in here in order for it to move up here. And I think that there's some risk right here. I think Titan could come back down and test this yellow line. So if it came down and tested the yellow line, yeah, I might be a buyer at that point. If it can test the line and hold the line. Now, if it stays and holds this moving average or the support line right here, I think we can see it at the yellow line up here at about 0.258. Now, what I would do here, if Titan gets to the 0.258 line and gets above it for a couple days and holds above it for a little bit, building a base, then I think it could be really interesting to buy it at that point, because it seems like then it might move on and create a new all-time high. Now, this is only a $5 million market cap project. There could be some good potential returns if it holds a base and continues upwards. So that's what I'm watching for Titan. After Titan, we have Hunt. Now, if you watch my channel, you know that I like Hunt. I think Hunt is a really interesting project, just because of the utility it provides for the Cardano space. This is how I only use Dex Hunter to buy tokens. And so Hunt definitely has a good use case. The circulating supply over here is bound to make the token go upwards, because the token is in the hands of the holders, like me. I'm not selling my Hunt at these levels. There's no way. I've been buying Hunt throughout this range right here, and it's just a little unfortunate right now that it's decided to break a little lower. What I am watching on a kind of like a weekly, daily basis, let's go to the daily chart. I am watching Hunt around these two things: this 786 Fibonacci level, this light blue line, and this yellow line. Okay. And I want to see it hold in this area, hold in this range, and then get back above these couple daily moving averages, making its way back up. I don't want to see Hunt break below this range. Let me show you. I don't want to see Hunt break below this range and continue downwards, because it just doesn't make sense to me. That would not make sense to me. It wouldn't make sense to me of who is selling their Hunt tokens and why they would be doing that. And so I want to see Hunt hold in this new range it's in, and then eventually in short term break back up here. It could take a couple weeks, but if you want to buy some Hunt or you want to hold some Hunt, if you want to make a purchase, I would wait and see what happens here. Does it break down? Does it break upwards? And then if it does confirm a break upwards, maybe you start buying as it kind of claims those moving averages and moves back upwards into this next range. Okay. If it breaks lower, we're going to have a different discussion. I have Hunt. I've been buying it around this area, and I'm not going to sell no matter what. So either way, it's okay. But if what I think about the Hunt chart right now is, unfortunately, it's come down to this 0.18 level, which I would not have appreciated. I liked it when it was coming up here, man. This was a good time in the Hunt token, but I would watch this area, and hopefully next week it'll get back above that Fibonacci, and then over the next couple of weeks start to make its way back up again. After Hunt, we have LENFI. LENFI is one of my favorite projects on Cardano, and you can see on the daily chart, it is kind of working ever since September of 2024. It's been working in this upwards diagonal channel, which is, you know, good for me. It just keeps moving upwards, and we're seeing it come back and touch it again. This is just really remnant of Cardano back when it was at like 25, 30 cents, and then came up to like 40 cents, and then came up to like 50 cents before popping up to like $1. And so I like LENFI. I've always liked LENFI. I've been buying it around here. I bought a little up here, right? And so LENFI to me is just a good overall solid project on Cardano. The big thing that they're working on right now is getting that version 3 of the platform released. And so users can get back and do some pooled lending and compete with LQ again. But as far as lending projects on Cardano that have a good chart to invest in, this is by far my favorite. I think, you know, maybe LENFI, I wouldn't be surprised if LENFI did either. I think it can definitely continue back upwards and get back above these support levels here. I definitely think it could break down and come back and retest this support level, depending on how long the V3 takes to release, depending on anything that could go on in the crypto space, right? All of these charts are subject to the altcoin space against the Bitcoin dominance and all that garbage. And, you know, Trump could come out and say something about tariffs, or Elon Musk could do something, and all this, you know, gets wrecked again. Either way, what I'd be watching if you want to buy or hold LENFI is just this area. You know, let's look at a weekly chart real quick. Yeah, it's just this area. This is a great little support area, accumulation area for LENFI. And what happens here? Does it break down below and come down and test this low again? Does it break upwards? If it breaks upwards, that might be a good time to signal, hey, it's coming back up again. It might be a good time to buy LENFI again and ride the trend upwards. Okay. That's what I'm looking at LENFI. I hold LENFI. I hold it in this range a lot. And, to me, it's a solid project. Even if it went down, I wouldn't sell it because I think long term it does really good. Okay. What's next? Bodega. I made a video on this and I'm glad it's come down. Usually we get these IPOs of crypto projects. You wait long enough, the project retraces all the way down. I think that you could definitely see Bodega come down to the 786 level right here. And if it did, I think that could be a great spot to buy some Bodega, right? Down here at the 786, you can see, right in this range, it's forming a nice little base. You can see this here. You got like a nice little base in here. Whether you want to put it here or anywhere else, right? It's just building a nice little base. And so the big question is, what I would be watching if you want to buy Bodega is, does this base kind of break down, over the next couple of days and come down to the 786? Or does this base kind of move back up into kind of this like range high? You see this kind of like high right here, somewhere in here, right? And so does the Bodega token break down and hold at the 786, or does it come back up here and get above this line? If it gets above this area and kind of holds it and closes and confirms it's going to stay above it, I'll buy some Bodega. I promise I'll buy it because it's only a $3 million market cap in ADA right now, and ADA is less than $1. So this is less than $3 million in market cap. And so I would buy that just on the off chance it comes up here, right? And so if Bodega breaks down, then we just got to wait and see, where does it find the next base? Does it find a base here at the 786? Does it come all the way down and find a base here? Either way, I think at some point I'm going to put a little bit of ADA in here, like 1,000 ADA or something, depending on where it goes, based on the few scenarios I just laid out, because it's just a small project at $3 million market cap. You could 10x up to 30 million pretty easily. After Bodega, we have another meme. We have a meme coin, the first meme coin we're going to talk about. This is Chad. And what's interesting about Chad is on the daily chart is, meme coins are really interesting when they drop 90% like this. Let's see what old Chad here did. Let's see, it dropped about 76% in total. Okay. So Chad dropped 76. Now it is getting, for the first time, back above its moving average. It did a little bit right here, but it's getting back above moving averages, and it's taken out this previous higher high. See, this is a new higher high against this one, and is competing with this one right here. You see this? This is where it's competing right now. And so the big question for Chad right now is, does the daily candles get above this line, get above this resistance line and this moving average? If that happens, if Chad gets above this area, I'm a buyer. I'm going to buy some Chad because it's just, I like the Chad community. I like the, men taking care of men idea, where we're like growing together, we're entrepreneurial, we're working out. I like that idea. I like some good bros doing good things. And so if Chad does that, I'm going to jump in here. It's about $8 or $9 million market cap right now. And so, you could easily toss a 10x on that. $80 million meme coin, not a huge deal if it starts to run, right? And so the big question for Chad is, and again, I told you I'm a little bored, so I usually don't buy meme coins, right? I know I don't buy meme coins. There's no fundamentals with meme coins, but I'm just looking at some trades you can make just for fun and have a little fun, okay? And so what I'd be watching here is what happens tomorrow, right? Does the day come down here back to the moving average? Does it hold the moving average, or does it come back here to the range low? If it holds the moving average and starts to make its way back up again over the next, couple days or week, does it get to this support? Does it get above the support for a day or two? Does it hold the support? Then I'm a buyer. If Chad comes back down here to this, 786 to this very bottom and holds and makes a base and then starts to make its way back up, I'm a buyer, okay? And if it breaks below, I'm not a buyer. I just ignore it, okay? That's the scenario for what I'm going to do with Chad. And that's, if you want a little meme coin play, this might be a little interesting one to watch. After Chad, we have IAG. IAG is just a solid project, man. IAG's got some Fortune 50 stuff, some Fortune 100 stuff. It's got some great things going on. I've been buying IAG around this area, this area right here. And so I'm in the profit. I don't really have many concerns. IAG is really volatile. It goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. Who in the world knows where it's going to go? It could come all the way down to the moving average. It could come all the way down to this support level right here, and it would be totally fine. We even have a new support level. I don't know. Where do you want to put it? Kind of like right here. And so IAG can come down here and can chill on this, build a little bull flag, right? And just hang out. So we're just going to have to watch and see what happens there. I don't have the need to buy any more IAG. I probably won't, because it's just a really high market cap token right now at $150 million. And so I was buying back here. It's in a good spot right now. I'm just going to hang on and let it roll. And I think, you should watch and see if you want to buy some. Does it hold here? Does it break down? Does it hold here? Does it hold here? Does it keep going up? If it holds here and stays and starts to make its way back up, maybe you're a buyer. Okay, now NVL, the competitor to Titan. Oh man, I should have played NVL a little bit better, but I still am glad I hold NVL. NVL was going up when everything was going down. And now it's going down when a lot of things are just kind of hanging out. And so what I think happens with NVL, even though I was hoping it was going to pause in this area and I bought NVL in this area, what I think is definitely going to happen now is it's just going to come down here, find this support zone here around 786 or around this previous low at about 0.77 or 0.73 or 0.88, somewhere in this range. Okay. Over the next couple of days, maybe NVL, or the next week or two, maybe NVL comes all the way down here. Maybe it finds and builds a base. Maybe it starts its way back up. If that happens and it starts to make its way back up, I'm going to double down and buy some more. Right now, if it comes down and holds at this area and then breaks down, we're just going to have to wait and see how far it drops. I still think this is an incredible project. I think Titan's an incredible project, and this is an incredible project because they're deep in aggregators that pay out rewards. They have revenue sharing. I mean, they're great projects. Right now, the price is just getting beaten down, and for some reason, people are selling out of it. But look at this. Circulating supply is out. Right? Total supply, circulating supply. Like, I really don't know who is dumping the tokens, and it doesn't really bother me that they are, right? It doesn't bother me that price is going down. I'm going to wait till it gets down here. I'm going to see what happens. It's going to accumulate probably, come back up, and then I'm going to start buying again. After NVL, we have BTN. BTN is just such a tease, man. This project, I'm glad I don't hold BTN because they keep pushing out the mainnet. And I'm glad we had that video where we talked about the rules of BTN, that you cannot buy a project if you cannot buy these things if the project is not out. Like, it's just such a scam. And the project's not a scam. That's not what I'm saying, but it's just such, it's so hard for people who are buying the tokens and the project's not released. You really just want to protect yourself by just avoiding projects that don't have a working product. And so what is happening is it looks like this thing is just slow grinding back down again. And really, over the past year, March of 2024, that this thing's been around, it hasn't done anything. Look at this. It hasn't done anything all year since 2024 when it was released. And so the big question is like, you have this upper range and this lower range and this middle range. And many people, because of the suspected mainnet release, bought it up here. And, we're hoping it's going to build a new base and then make its way higher. That's not what happened, unfortunately, because the product wasn't released. And so it's starting to make its way back down. And what I suspect will happen is it kind of makes a base right here. And then we see, do we get the mainnet? Does it come out, right? If it does it go up? If it doesn't, does it keep going down? And so what I would do is I would just hold on here. I would just hold on and pause and take a breath. But I mean, like, look at this. This is just coming down. I don't know if that's perfect. This is just coming down. And you have like this just coming down. Somewhere in here. You kind of get the idea, right? But it's just kind of making these lower lows and kind of chopping around and hanging out. And it's just kind of like, it seems like it's just going to keep rolling over and slowly coming down. First to this midline, and then probably, I guess, if mainnet doesn't come out, it's going to come back down here. Maybe if BTN comes down all the way down back here, you can buy it then, because then it's a great buy. Because I mean, look at this. It hasn't gone below that. And so maybe if it comes down here, I'm a buyer. But other than that, I won't touch this project because there's really no reason to. All right. After BTN, we have Talos, the AI agent making new all-time highs. And, for me, I wasn't really paying attention to crypto over the past couple of weeks. And so I didn't really, know to buy this. But The other thing is like this just doesn't have a lot of data. And when I say like a lot of data, I mean like this is the daily chart. Like there's like 2 months of data here, right? And so I guess I personally could have done a little better and bought it when it got above this moving average, right? That would have been a great buy right there. But now it's just kind of like a little late. And to me, there's no reason to buy right here. I suspect if it comes down, if it starts to retrace, because that's what traders will do, they'll buy things and then sell it and it'll start to dump again. If it comes down and kind of holds this level right here, or like maybe it's like right in this range, somewhere in here, right? It could be anywhere in here. If Talos comes down and holds this and makes a base, and the moving average comes up and kind of catches up with it, and then it keeps going up, I'll be a buyer. I'll be a buyer on the breakout, right? But this to me is too overheated right now, not really worth it. It's a $16 million market cap for an AI agent. I don't know if that's worth it. And so for me, I don't think it's a good buy right now because it just looks like, it's made a new all-time high. We're late to the party. All right, the next meme coin is going to be SNEK. This is SNEK, and I think SNEK's doing beautiful. SNEK is always doing good. Since its inception, it's gone up. And all I think you need to know about SNEK is it looks like it's building a nice bull flag, just kind of building a base here. It could definitely come down to around this level, I think, the 0.4 to the 0.5 area. You just like a little retracement area. But I wouldn't be too worried if it did. I think SNEK is doing good. And, over time, this thing's going to keep going up. After SNEK, we have LQ. LQ, this is why I buy LENFI. Because LQ is just in the slow bleed zone. It was doing really good for a couple of months here. It really was. But now it is back below all moving averages. It doesn't really have like a solid base that it's working with. It's just in free fall mode. And so it's hard to tell, like, is the base going to be here? Is the base going to be here? Right? Is it going to go all the way back down to all-time lows? Like, where does LQ stop dropping? And so for me, this is a no buy. LQ does not interest me. And this price action at $66 million market cap, to me, is not worth it. If you want to buy LQ, I would wait and see where does it bottom? Does it build a base here? Does it go even lower? And where does it make that base? And then does it start to break out again, much like it did right here? After LQ, I want to look at MinSwap. The same story is with MinSwap. You can see it's coming down here. This is let's look at the weekly chart. This is a weekly chart right here. MinSwap is just can't get above the 50-week moving average. And so it's just in free fall mode. Looks like, is it going to come down here and touch this low here? You see, this is the all-time low, kind of in this area. Does it come back? Does it build a base there and continue back upwards? Or does it break lower? That's the question. For me, this is not a buy. $53 million market cap, poor price action, not really worth it. To me, it's not a good buy. And so I just, where does it stop falling? That's the big question. Where does it stop falling? Okay, two more that I want to look at. The first one is Indy. Indy was falling for quite a while, had a good upwards movement, but has since fallen again. The interesting thing though here is that right now Indy has some good news that it's kind of playing on. And so the big question is, does that good news get it above these moving averages and take out this higher high? If it does, Indy could, rally pretty well. But right now, I think what we're seeing here is a weekly candle that's coming up. I bet it gets rejected at this level. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to take a couple weeks to figure out. But what I'd be watching is, does it break this level and get above the moving averages? If it does, could be a buy for a quick pop up. Or does it come up to the moving averages and get rejected again like it did right here and like it did right here? And then it will probably come back down to either this support or make a new low. That's what I'd be watching if you want to hold Indy. And our last project of the day is going to be FLDT. This is another kind of like lending protocol on Cardano. It focuses on NFT and now Bitcoin and now getting into pooled lending. So it's kind of doing a little bit of everything. $13 million market cap. The circulating supply is not super great, 36 million out of 100 million. So we'll have to look at the vesting, how many tokens are going to come out, when are they going to come out? But when you look at if you look at the weekly chart here, this is pretty interesting. Holding this moving average, and as we're traced back to the moving average, will it come down to the 50-week moving average? Will it hold support there, or will it hold support here? That is the question to ask. You can see on this FLD chart that there's a little bit of a range here, kind of like this range. What is it? It's like this range. And then there's like this range kind of here. And the question I think I would ask is, does it hold in this range, or like what it, this price action is a little bit tricky. It is in a good uptrend, right? It is in a good uptrend. But when you look at it on like a daily chart, the big question I think you would want to ask is, does it build a base anywhere? Does it, see, like this is like, this overall is straight down, right? This is straight down, and now it's coming back straight up. But this high, like this high right here, didn't take out this high. And so that's kind of concerning, because that can tell like maybe long term this trend, this movement is not strong enough, right? And so what I would be watching here is, does FLDT build a base anywhere? And if you kind of like, let's look at the 3-day chart. Does it build a base here at this 53-day moving average? Does it kind of go sideways for a week or 2 weeks, right? Or does it come down here and do it? But right now it went like purely up. Now it's going purely down. And does it build a base anywhere on these moving averages or on these supports? That's what I would watch. I wouldn't buy it right now because it looks like it's very choppy. It's very volatile. It's up and down and up and down. And in this whole chart, there aren't very many bases at all. You like, this is a V. This is a pure V. This is a pure V. This is a pure V. And so what I would want to see for Fluid to make a really good investment is, where does it build like a base, like an accumulation zone that you can just watch it and then decide, does it break down or does it break up? That would be the best case scenario. This is what I'm watching in Cardano. These are all of the charts that I'm looking at, and obviously I don't think you should hold all of these tokens, right? But this is really a pretty good overview of what's going on in the Cardano community. I know times like this in crypto can be a little bit boring, a little bit kind of right? And it's just like weird. It's like we're waiting for people to tell us what is happening and for government officials to decide where's the money supply going and all this stuff, right? But regardless of that, if you want to have a little bit of fun and watch some trades, these are the ones that I'm watching. I bought some DEDI. I'm watching Chad. I'm watching Titan. I'm watching a couple of these things to have a little bit of fun. And, maybe you want to try some of those moves I made. But this is what's going on in Cardano. If you haven't gotten my newsletter and Crypto 100X Blueprint, in the description, you can go ahead and sign up for it. I'm doing posts every week on the newsletter related to, how I trade or how I invest or how I do long-term investing and fundamental analysis. And so that's probably pretty interesting to you. But other than that, this is what I'm watching on Cardano. I still think Cardano is bullish for 2025. I think all of these tokens are. I think that crypto in 2025 is still going to do very, very well. And I think right now we're just in a little bit weird period. All right. Let me know if I missed any Cardano native tokens, or if you agree with any of my ideas on any of them down in the description. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the video, and we will definitely see you in the next one for more Cardano content.